Then, Jeff, the jury continues to ask questions. Take a listen to this one and think about what it tells you.
On the one side, we have demeaning multiple verbal slurs, a slap, a shove, a chokehold, and a lunge perpetrated on Jodi. On the other, we have a gunshot to the head, a 4-inch deep slit throat, and close to 30 stab wounds delivered by Jodi to Travis. Is not the perpetrator of the greatest domestic violence Jodi?
No.
Wow, she said no.
Question.
Jeff, what does it tell you the jury's thinking?
Judge. Yeah. Look, and they asked more questions about that. In fact, they asked the question, who was the bigger victim? Was Jodi the bigger victim or Travis the bigger victim? And this Alyce Laviolette, who, by the way, is a psychotherapist. She's not even a psychologist. She's certainly not really an expert witness. She testified in 6 cases in her whole life, and none of them were for a man in a criminal case. Well, I'll tell you what. She says black and white. It's 100% every time she answers for Jodi Arias, and she says Jodi is the bigger victim. Travis is slashed 29 times. He's almost decapitated, shot in the head, and she says, because she's paid by the defense to say that, and I'm a defense attorney too.
Well, and Jeff, was the jury rolling their eyes? Is their body language giving anything away when this domestic violence expert says Snow White was a battered woman and dwarfs did it?
Well, I'll tell you, I've sat through all of this defense, really, and it is really interesting to be in a jurisdiction where the jury gets to ask these written questions, because the questions are asked in the order. So you can see the questions that were asked during the direct, and then as you go into cross. And by the time you got to questions that must have been written during the cross-examination, they were boom, boom, chopping off Alyce Laviolette's head.
Doesn't seem to look good. All right, panel, stick around. We're going to have more on Arias after the... Jeff, I can't help but think that jury is saying, these expert witnesses will say anything for a buck. Am I wrong?
Well, look, when you have an expert witness, Judge, you want the expert witness actually to give a little bit, 1 or 2%, 5%, something to the other side so they sound like they're credible. Because this is not DNA. This is about psychology. It's not black and white. So you give a little bit. There was nothing that Alyce Laviolette would give up, nothing. In terms of the manipulation, has there ever been a case in the history of the world where it was clearer that a woman manipulated somebody with sex than in this case? And this jury has heard it, and she has denied it. It doesn't make any sense to
and
this
the
jury.
shame of this whole thing is, when you have an expert like this, I mean, can you see her ever testifying again? I mean, she's been so destroyed on this case.
No, and as a matter of fact, she went to the hospital, apparently. She was so sick with regard to this case.
Yeah, Jeff.
She's looked physically shaken. I've seen her every day. I've seen her up close. I'll, wave hi to her, say hi. She's a human being walking past me. She looks shaken by the end of the show.
But the truth is, how long does this DA go on with these cross-examinations?
Given all of these lies that she told after June 4th of 2008, do they define her for you? Do they cause you problems in her believability?
No, they don't.
Why is that?
Because if Miss Arias was a really good liar, she would have planned a really good lie, and she didn't.
First of all, it's on the direct, but she is a really good liar. She did plan a lie. It didn't work. She planned another lie. That one didn't work, so she planned a third one. I mean, it's a whole thing, Jeff, isn't it? This case comes down to premeditation. You've got her grandparents' gun disappearing 2 days before she travels to meet with him, have sex, take his picture, and watch the camera.
Well, a couple things on that. First of all, I don't think she's going to get the death penalty now, although I've said on this show earlier on I think she would, because she was on that stand for 18 days, 5 or 10 feet from the jury. It's still, no matter what happens, it's going to be very difficult for them to kill her, having been intimate with her, so to speak. The second thing is about that gun. The ME says that she was shot after. So if she brought the gun to shoot him, why is she stabbing him first? There's a question about that, and the Arizona law may make it difficult. I think she'll get first degree.
She's doing everything she can to